It's the Two Garage Guys.
Wow, 50 years of rock and roll. Hey, welcome to our show. We're the Two Garage Guys. My name's Kent Morrill.
And I'm Buck Ormsby.
It has indeed been 50 years of rock and roll. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about that, but we're mainly going to be featuring the Ventures, who also had 50 years of rock and roll.
We got together and recorded an album together with the Ventures, and it's called Two Car Garage. In fact, Kent has on the official T-shirt from the Two Car Garage debut in Seattle, Washington. We did a big concert with the Ventures and the Wailers up in Seattle at the Morrill Theater this last April, '09, and came off quite well.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Even though the guys were all celebrating 50 years of rock and roll. One of the things that came out of this whole thing was the fact that we did record this album with this lovely little lady on the cover here.
That's my sister.
And it has a little bit of history in here on everybody. You know, the Ventures started off as a four-piece group. Still are a four-piece group. And their first hit, what was that, Kent? What was their...
I think it was that one where he did Walter Brennan.
Walter Brennan.
And it actually wasn't a hit.
Oh.
But that's when we knew him. We hired them one time to play with us at the Armory in Tacoma.
Tacoma Armory, yeah, one of the big dance halls here.
Back in 1959, I guess it was.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one. But there was two hits going on, wasn't there? I mean, they just released their big debut, which was Walk Don't Run.
Oh yeah,
the instrumental.
That kicked it off. Once Walk Don't Run came out for them, that was their big hit.
Yeah, but you know how that thing happened? It started, they didn't really play it, on a regular, what do you call it, their program. It wasn't regularly programmed.
It wasn't in rotation.
Yeah, rotation. So what they did was they kind of used it to open up the news. And then pretty soon people started to call in to the radio station and say, what is that song, instrumental? And that was kind of like that set the whole pattern for these guys for the rest of their careers. I mean, they're still going, matter of fact.
Right. Hey, why don't we go to that interview with them?
Okay, now we're going to interview Don. Don is the originator. I mean, he started the Ventures back in late 1958. Don Wilson is still going to Japan. The Ventures are performing. How many albums do you have now, Don?
Almost lost count, but about 250 different ones.
250. Some of them are compilations, some of them are the hits.
Yeah,
and
so a lot of them just for Japan alone. So there's a lot of them for just Japan. I'd say probably 35 or so just for Japan alone, with their songs,
You know, this is way too many. Now, the Ventures were just inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, and they were in New York, and you appeared on the well, it was a big show there.
It was, yeah.
It was the same. The other inductees were like Madonna,
right?
And was it John Fogerty?
John Mellencamp.
Oh, John Mellencamp, and John Fogerty.
Yeah, John Fogerty introduced
you.
Right.
Guys. You discovered when you went to Japan in the '60s that you were more popular than the Beatles.
Well, what happened was that the record company called Toshiba Records that had that put out our records over there, they had the Beatles and the Ventures, and they told us not only the first couple of years we outsold the Beatles, we outsold the Beatles 2-to-1.
Whoa.
So that's something.
Yeah, that's really something.
And that's fact because they both had the same, both artists. So in 1958, we called ourselves the Versatones.
Yeah.
We didn't call ourselves the Ventures until 1959, and that's the first time we ever recorded anything. And then in 1960, we recorded Walk Don't Run. When I was learning how to play the guitar, which, in 1958, my partner and I bought 2 guitars in a pawn shop in downtown Tacoma.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had your Wailers album, that first one.
Yeah.
And I wore the grooves out on it. They turned white. I had to play it over and over and over, and then try to play it.
Well.
And we wound up recording most of the, a lot of those songs on there.
Cool. I think you did.
We did Waylon, Shanghai.
Yeah. Well, that was good. I mean, the songs were introduced at that time over in wherever you were, Japan and all that. So I mean, it's kind of nice that we've all known each other this many years.
Yeah.
And been real supportive. And Don's the one who came up with the idea that we should get together and do the album
That's
together.
my respect for the Wailers, actually. To tell you the truth, I really respect those guys. I mean, they were pioneers of the pioneers around here.
I feel old.
Yeah.
No, but hey, I'll tell you what, we're never going to quit. We're going to keep playing until we drop.
Yeah.
Hey, Buck, that was really a good interview.
Those guys are real old. They look old. I mean, after 50 years, I guess, you have a right to do that. But they also, play about 50 gigs every summer over there when they go to Japan.
I know.
And they play in the U.S. too,
Well, one thing is they finally, after all these years, have been the first group to be inducted into the
First Northwest group?
Yeah, first Northwest group to be inducted into the Cleveland Rock and Roll Hall of Fame after just about 50
Well, they
years.
had 100 million sales on their albums, and they recorded about 250 albums, of course,
Yeah,
But that's a pretty big record, I mean, for, 4-piece band after all these years from the 60s and still going.
Actually, they are the largest selling instrumental group in the history of music. So that's saying something. They've inspired more guitar players probably than anybody.
Yeah, probably so. They're the reason why guitar bands came about again. I remember in the 60s when they said, when the Beatles were trying to get a label, and they said, well, guitars are out.
Yeah.
Well, here we are, 40 years later, and everybody and their brother owns a guitar.
Well, and they proved them wrong. And hey, our buddy Joey, he's so inspired by this talk about the Ventures.
Yeah, I hear he's picking up guitar a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's go look at him and see what he's doing.
Hey guys, this is Joey coming to you live from the Moore Theater in the Green Room. I just saw the Ventures and Wailers play their 50th anniversary concert, and this is the CD that they released tonight. It's the 2-Car Garage. You got to pick it up. In fact, I am so influenced by what these guys have done. I'm going to play a little song on Don Wilson's guitar. All right. I'm okay.
Bucky's all right.
Yeah, he'll pull through. Joey pulls through.